Welcome back to the Perkins Perspective. I'm Denny. I'm going to tell you a story right now about my younger brother, about all of us growing up together and everything that goes along with it. His name is Jonathan. Jonathan and me are only about 7 months apart because, like I said in my last video, my younger brother and my sister were adopted, so don't get the math all messed up in your head. He's not a preemie, anything like that. And he was exactly a year behind me in school because of the way his birthday fell in October. But anyway, me and Jonathan kind of was thick as thieves. We all played sports together. Daddy coached our baseball teams every year. He would stay behind and coach Jonathan's team because, like I said, the way his birthday fell, he had to stay back a year, and he would coach him. Uh, but when we all played together, we didn't lose. Not a whole lot, not often at all, because we were scared to lose. That's another story for another day. My younger brother and me, we would do things. We would fight like cats and dogs at times, but if you messed with one of us, you had us both. And if you tried us, we'd let you know real quick. Now, I'm going to tell a few little stories. I'm going to try not to say and tell any that's going to make him mad at me, but it may come out a little bit anyway. The biggest story I want to tell you, and it's not funny necessarily, it is funny looking back on it, was how he treated every girl he ever dated until he met Dana, his wife. Now, let me explain that. See, my younger brother used to date these girls, and when it would come around to Christmas or Valentine's Day or any other thing, or especially Christmas, but uh, except for his birthday. Now, he would date them on his birthday because they would give him birthday presents. But any other time, right before a major holiday would hit, he'd dump them. He'd be out. He'd gone. Jonathan gone until he met Dana. And I can tell you the time and when it happened. We were on a church trip and we were bowling. And my cousin Amanda brought Dana with her. Dana's her friend. And when Dana walked through the door with Amanda, Jonathan was poleaxed. It was over. Y'all, when I say it was over, it was over. Jonathan was done. And I said at the time, I told my mom and dad, I said, we're going to see where this goes because we got to see a major holiday come by first. Christmas came. He bought her so much crap. It was unreal. I said, uh-oh. Then her birthday came, all the gifts and all the glory. He would take her out places. He would come in. He was in the Navy. He would come all the way from Milton, Florida, just to see her. It was, he was done. And let me tell you, that's the best thing that ever happened to him because she settled his tail down royally. And I'm so thankful for her for doing that. But it was something. He would dump them all before the major holidays, and they would all, for some reason, come to me and can't you do something about this? Can't you talk to him? I'm like, no, you knew what you was getting into when you got into it. It's crazy. But that's neither here nor there. Now, I am going to talk about when we were in school, how it would go down. Jonathan was one of the best athletes at Berry High School. He still holds records, or did hold records, and he still got some records that they didn't give him credit for because we're not in the in crowd. I saw him single-handedly in one game against Brilliant, a little school up north of us. He scored all points in the game, period. He ran a kickoff all the way back. That was one. Then he kicked a 45-yard field goal. That one was supposed to be a record breaker, but the records got lost. Oh, woe was me. But he broke that record. But then he got tackled kind of hard on a play before, and he went on defense, and he played kind of, he was supposed to be a cornerback, but he was more or less a monster back. He went anywhere he wanted to go. Well, he was in the backfield shaking his head and was like staggering around, and the quarterback pointed at him, for the other team, pointed at him, did something, leaned up and was going to throw a quick pass. Jonathan snapped right in front of the pass, took it 90 yards down the field, scored the last touchdown of the game. He scored all points in that game. That's how good he really was. Baseball, it didn't matter. The only thing I could beat him in was basketball, and that's only because I'm 6'5" and he's about 5'10", and I could take him that way. Plus, I could shoot a lot better than he could because he had a funky looking shot. But anyway, we would be in school, and because he was the all-star running back, the girls all did his work for him, and our home ec teacher would let him go next door where she had a little living room set up and let him take a nap on the couch because Jonathan had to run the ball. Yeah, that's what I never got anything like that. That's what I got, and I had to quit basketball one year because I got a 79 average in English one, and my dad come out and humiliated me in front of the whole team, pulled me off the court, made me quit. My younger brother, when I tell you my older brother had an eidetic memory and was so smart he could read something one time and it was there, my younger brother was just as genius as my older brother was. His was just a little bit more criminal. He had my daddy believing that he wasn't smart enough. And that boy would skim through with a 65 average, barely passing at all. And that, bless his heart, he's just not as smart as you and Mark. And I'm like, Daddy, I ain't smart. I had to study all night just to pass tests. But no, Jonathan got by with it because he could run the ball. And he would take anybody's dare. Now, this is the one that's probably going to get me in trouble with him. But somebody could dare him to do something. It was always like that growing up. Somebody could dare Jonathan to do something, and he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And one night I'm sitting up in town, sitting on my tailgate of my truck, and I had these girls. I was interested in one of them, and we were talking. We talked off and on for a while. But next thing I see my brother in his underwear running down the road, and he dives in the back of my truck. And about the time he dives in the back of my truck, I look up, and here comes the police, and they just fly by with lights going. And I'm like, Jonathan, they looking for you? And he just looked at me dead in the eye for some reason. I don't know why. He was told it was part of the dare. He looked at me and he said, it hurts to pee. Jumped out of the back of my truck and tore out the way he came. That was Jonathan. He stayed grounded from the 7th grade through the 12th grade. Not because of his grades, because like I said, they let him get by with that because he wasn't smart enough. Yeah, he was a genius. All right, he was. But every time he would come off of being grounded, he'd do something like that and just get grounded again. But I'm telling you, I love him. I love him. And to this day, he actually married my oldest son and his wife. And it tickled me so much. He did such a beautiful job with that wedding. And it just, the whole family loved it. We loved it. He was so honored that Justin would even ask him to. And Justin, I tell you, the sun rises and sets with Jonathan in his eyes. And I wouldn't have it any other way because Jonathan is one of the best role models today that I know. He is a very godly man and he is a good man. And I love him to death. But anyway, me and him put the little saying that I like to use to the test many times. But y'all just remember, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. All right, I'll see y'all later.